Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Late for the Party on Spotify for podcasters. I am your host, Harry LeBray, aka Coverboy, the modern Marvel. That's right, you guys. We are going to get into an In My Mind segment and kind of like a quick fire review of the trailer for Captain America Brave New World. And I'm going to give my In My Mind segment on, my inner felt thoughts about it. But either way, please comment, like, share, subscribe to the podcast. The link will be in the description once I upload everything to my social media. The link tree is linktree/LateForTheParty, where if you want to check out all the cool little antics of myself and myself and I, you can check me out on linktree/LateForTheParty. And also while you're on there, check out Teespring or Spring.com, where you can get all your cool Late for the Party merch. That's right, you guys. So tell a friend, tell a foe, let everybody know that this is Late for the Party and this is how we go. So let's get to it. All right, so I watched Captain America's Brave New World, looked at the trailer, a little in, a little snippet, little trailer that they had was not bad at all. I mean, it doesn't have that Winter Soldier vibe that I was getting back when when the Russo brothers was doing it. Looks like the movie is directed by Julius Ona. Julius Ona. Let's see. Let's see what he's done so far. Okay, so he's done a couple of short films. I mean, doesn't matter. I mean, my whole thing is, if you're good, are you good to actually do a Captain America film? So let's see. He directed Cloverfield Paradox. Advocacy Broken Arrows. Big man. He's done a lot of short films, a lot of films that I haven't really heard about, but that doesn't mean that they're not good. But mostly, most of them, the films are short films. Boundary. Let's see. The only notable thing that I've seen him actually done thus far is Cloverfield Paradox. He's done a movie, The Girl Is in Trouble, with Columbus Short. And what's his name from? I think he was on House. Or now the dude's on what was the film? What's the show? Jesse Spence. He's on what was it? Chicago Fire, and he was on House. So he's got some things going, but I think the one that really stood out, the movie that really stood out initially in his list, I mean, the one that I see personally is that freaking, yeah, that is freaking Fez. Exclusive producer Spike Lee. Well, I mean, either way, I mean, they always want to lead into, oh, he's a African American Nigerian. Look, I'm a black dude, and the first thing you want to do is lead in Nigerian American filmmaker and occasional actor. Ona was born in Makudi, Bunda state in Nigeria. He was raised in the Philippines. Okay. Okay, so here's my thing about all that. That's all fine and dandy. Is he capable of doing Captain America Brave New World. Now, keep in mind, Captain America, the Captain America franchise in Marvel has, in the MCU, has probably has been one of my favorites. Winter Soldier, I mean, First Avenger is cool. I like it, especially for the lead up. Um, you have Winter Soldier has got to be probably one of the best Captain America films. Well, one of the best MCU films of all times. And Civil War, I mean, was great. And then you also got like the introductions of Black Panther and Spider-Man. So I mean, that's like something that you never really got. And the action scenes were pretty damn good too to be a superhero film. So, and to have more than one person on screen to actually get a little chance to shine while they're not, like, certain characters are not feeling alienated or isolated and whatnot. It was actually good. But shout out to the Russo brothers. Now, can this film, is Brave New World gonna, my whole thing is Brave New World, is it gonna fall victim to how Love and Thunder failed? You know what I'm saying? Now, I mean, I'm two different films, two different stories, two different scenarios. I get that. But so far, doing a fourth film for like a certain character, if they made it past if they made it past their trilogies, it ain't doing so hot. I mean, whatever. But my whole thing is, will it be? I mean, will it hold water? I mean, so far, I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, well, I'm not. You know what? And I'm not even gonna give. I'm not even gonna give it that kind of criticism because I feel films like this, especially with stuff with Captain America and everything, shouldn't have had a series like that in general. I feel that I feel that Captain America in general is Steve Rogers. I'm sorry, y'all. I like Sam Wilson better as I like Sam Wilson better as Falcon. I mean, Falcon is that guy, but since we're going into uncharted territory with the MCU on how Disney is prompting, okay, well, we're going to have to give it the new status quo. I mean, even in the comic books, I didn't like when like Sam Wilson became Captain America. I mean, it was only brief till the original Captain America came back, and nothing's wrong with that. I mean, for if it's helping out with the story and whatnot, that's fine. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff on the table that's like unspoken in the MCU, like where is Steve Rogers? I mean, where has he been hiding for like the last? I mean, where has he been since he went back in time to drop off all the stuff for for all the trinkets that they used in the Infinity in Endgame. But also, like, my whole thing is, like, even Kane kind of explained that he encountered. There's a lot of stuff that's going on with this film that might raise some eyebrows. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm a little skeptic about it. I mean, there's so much stuff going on to where, okay, now William Hurt has passed away. Now Harrison Ford is the new Thaddeus Ross. Okay, new Thaddeus Ross. Okay, I'm not gonna knock it. Looks like we're gonna be getting the Red Hulk. Looks like Betty Ross is in the film too. Liv Tyler is going to be playing reprise her role as Betty Ross. And also, shit, we got Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns, aka the leader. Joaquin Torres is going to be playing, obviously, he's going to be. I mean, if you saw the trailer a little bit, you saw I guess he's going to be the new Falcon. So he's going to be his sidekick now. I mean, look, I'll give it credit where credit's due. I just hope that they don't botch this up. I mean, right now, I'm giving the trailer looks cool, but my thing is, I know Marvel has a tendency to keep things under wraps to where like a lot of surprises and everything else could be in these films, and I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. But you know, Marvel's track record has not been so hot nowadays. I mean, everything from Marvels and whatnot. I mean, even with Beast showing up, that didn't help it none. I mean, so far, other than if your name wasn't like X-Men 97 or even all the stuff going on with Deadpool and Wolverine's film, which is going to be out in the next couple of days or next week. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all this turns out. Like, and I'm tight when it comes down to these kinds of things because I don't want no comic book movie to fail. I've been raised and read these comic book characters and watched them grow just off of going to the comic book stores to eventually getting a cartoon to eventually somebody deciding, hey, there's money in this. There's money involved. And honestly, people are now starting to really get on the wave of things. And that's cool. But my whole thing is stay true to the story, give us good story. I don't care about checking boxes and tokenism and all of that shit, and I don't care about none of that. I don't care if there's not many black people or too many white people or whatever the case may be. All right, all I care about is stop race swapping and gender swapping characters who are already characters previously in whatever. I don't care if it was from the comic books 5, 10, 20, 30 years ago. Okay, you're not going to turn Black Panther into a white guy. So why do that now? But if you're already written the character in the story the way it already's been done to where, okay, I could understand that Captain America is the mantle. The man, the mantle makes the man. The man makes the mantle. So I have a thing about characters like Spider-Man, like Miles Morales. I'm sorry, I love Miles Morales, but I prefer him to be somebody else. If you really think of it, I prefer to him to have his own name, give him his own unique way. He already doesn't have all the superpowers like the original Spider-Man. I mean, hell, Peter don't do no electric punches and all that shit. So call why call Miles Morales Spider-Man? Prime example. We Falcon is dope as hell. The Falcon paved his own way as Falcon. Sam Wilson to me is always and forever will be Falcon. I mean, don't get me wrong, he posed as Captain America for a little bit, and that was fine. That was cool. I mean, he was I mean, it was cool, but I'm still gonna look at him as Falcon with a shield, with Captain America's shield in his costume. I mean, it'd be a different story if he didn't have on his freaking wings in the process. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing unique about that. It's freaking Sam, aka Falcon, with Captain America's freaking shield and a red, white, and blue costume. Shit, why don't you just call him the American Falcon for all I care? You know what I'm saying? Rather than just Captain America. Give him his own unique feel, his own unique zing. You know, like when Venom became Venom, knowing that mostly, like when Spider Man wore the black costume, it was the symbiote costume. You didn't see Venom, who is clearly wearing the costume that Peter Parker was wearing in the Secret Wars. And keep in mind, the only difference is that it has a mouth and a tongue, and it's a little bigger than what Peter would be. But you don't see Venom being called Spider-Man, right? He was called a whole different name, even though he's literally wearing the costume that Peter Parker had. You know, they didn't call him Dark Spider or they didn't call him Dark Spider or anything else like that. Venom is Venom. But my whole thing is when it comes down to characters like Miles Morales or even Sam Wilson, like they are well, Sam especially. Sam Wilson already established himself as Falcon. I prefer him to be that and that alone. I mean, and I get there's been times where characters who are other characters become that person, a different person. Ergo freaking Robin, who became Nightwing because of the influence of Superman, telling them the story of a Kryptonian superhero going by the name of Nightwing, and he had a sidekick named Flamebird and whatnot. And look at Nightwing, Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson became Nightwing. He was so popular with it, he preferred to be that than anywhere. He didn't want to be in anybody else's shadow. So, and that's probably one of the things that's going to intrigue me. When I was watching Captain America, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, was that when you're wearing the mantle of Captain America, you know, big shoes to fill. Very big shoes. I mean, keep in mind, Sam ain't Captain America. He's not. He doesn't have a super soldier serum. He has wings. He has the bird wings, and he's able to fly with those and whatnot. So he's Captain America. He's basically Falcon with Captain America's shield. You know, and seeing how the story in the trailer looks, that you got Thaddeus Ross saying to him, "You're no Steve Rogers," and he says, "You're right, I'm not." Okay, I'm intrigued to see that. I'm intrigued to see how they literally maneuver around with this. So I am gonna give it a benefit of the doubt. The trailer itself was not bad at all. Wasn't mad at the trailer. Trailer was actually pretty cool, you know. And then just seeing how the Red Hulk comes into this, for those who may or spoilers. I mean, is it really spoilers when you already read the comic books? I mean, it's not like you already don't know. If you ain't been a comic book head like myself, I mean, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know, it ain't my fault that you ain't decide to read comic books because everybody thought, comic books are for kids. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but guess what? Thaddeus Ross is fucking Red Hulk. There, I said it. There you go. It was a contingency plan to go up against the Hulk. And since they're bringing Thaddeus Ross into this whole scenario, and since John Hurt, William Hurt. Yeah, William Hurt. William Hurt was the original Thaddeus Ross. And when he passed away, they decided to make him they decided to make Harrison Ford the new Steve Rogers. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting that they would do that. And that's cool because obviously they needed to go on with the story. And see, this is the thing that pisses me off with shit like that. If you were going to do that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I could understand why they probably did that. And so far, they've done it twice. They done it with Rhodey when it was Terrence Howard, and they made Don Cheadle the new Rhodey. William Hurt's passed. I want to say William Hurt or John Hurt. Hold on, let me make sure I'm saying this right. William Hurt. He was one of my favorite actors too. Yep, William Hurt. So he was in the original Incredible Hulk. And Incredible Hulk wasn't really. They were kind of like on loan. Hulk is basically on loan by Universal because Universal still owns the rights to the Incredible Hulk. That's why the Incredible Hulk never had his own movie, and he never had his own film in whatchamacallit. He never had it. He never had the MCU. He never got the MCU treatment. That's why they've been treating the Hulk like a huge disservice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you basically pawning all his villains off to everybody, pretty much. I mean, even freaking Abomination. And, like, you're literally bastardizing a dope character. And since pretty much Hulk looks like he's still on loan, he ain't even got his own damn movie. Man, and everybody else's movie but him. I mean, in some cases, if you think about Thor Ragnarok was low key freaking a piece of World War Hulk. So, you know, they fuse a lot of like storylines into each other, and all intents and purposes, they do pretty okay by making them kind of fit. Does it make sense always? No, but you know, they done better than most. But I think in the first season, like the first 3 phases of the MCU, yes, and they didn't have so much stuff going on. I think that's why today's version of the MCU has been suffering so much because one, too much fucking content. I feel that some of those series that's on freaking not HBO, those series that are on Disney Plus shouldn't even be series. I mean, some that should be series shouldn't. Like Eternals should be a series. Eternals shouldn't be a movie. It should be a series. And even that, I kind of knew that was going to fail because the one that was supposed to be a series, The Inhumans, did horribly. Probably one of the first failures that the MCU actually did that didn't really stand up to the test of time. You know, not everybody's going to strike lightning in the bottle twice like Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy was an anomaly. And how they managed to pull it off, and that was because of the mind of James Gunn. And I know I'm going directly way off topic, but it kind of fits in some degree. You know what I'm saying? So if anything comes out of any of this, I say it like this: let's just be mindful of how they're operating with most of their films. I mean, like I said, Disney is going off of this wave of, you know, oh, the name already got away from me because I got so sick and tired of it that they're worried about, oh, there's not enough people of color, or there's not enough men, there's not enough women, or anything like that. Look, I don't care about none of that, but if the story is fucking good, all I say is like this: story's good, and keep the origin intact. You know what I'm saying? Don't reinvent the wheel. Work with the shit that you already have. Tell your producers and directors and writers to not read. Tell them to stop them from not reading the source material. Okay? Keep with the source material. I don't understand why you would tell the writers not to read the source material because you want to do it in a way to where it's different than what the original stuff was. That's why Echoes failed. That's why freaking She-Hulk failed. That's why most of these stuff that's been, even the films and the movies, they're all failing because they're worried about trying to God, I've clearly forgot the name of I always say it all the time too. You're worried about checking off boxes and worried about representation. There we go. You're worried about representation rather than and trying to send a message rather than tell the fucking story. And if you worry about telling the story, if you're not worrying about telling a story, then guess what happens? The people like myself, those quote unquote toxic fans, we're not toxic. We're not toxic fans. We're the fans who actually kept those characters that you're butchering alive for the last 30 fucking years of most of our existence. 30 to 40 years of our existence. We're one of those guys that that those characters are being used today because we were the ones reading those books. We were the ones who thought those characters were cool. We were the ones who are defending this stuff because honestly, none of us thought this would have shit. In my day and age, I never would have thought I would have saw Thanos live action anytime, but it happened. And I'm happy that I seen it happen in my lifetime. 43 years old. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna hold it to the fire. Because I was one of those guys who read these set comic books. You know what I'm saying? I've read stuff like this. I got most of these books. I have books like this in storage. You know what I'm saying? I have plenty of them. And for a person who would think like this could work, this may not be such a good idea. Or maybe why are you going this way and then you're pivoting another way just to get to this point? I mean, like, there's a lot of things like, okay, Black Widow should have had her own fucking movie before Captain Marvel. Sorry. And then you want to do a movie of Captain Black Widow after she fucking died in what after she fucking died, and then now in later development, now her sister is gonna be the new Black Widow. Okay, cool beans. And that's happened in the comic books too. Black Widow was a different person in the process. So, I mean, it's not like it hasn't happened, but not being a toxic fan. Sorry, you guys. I'm passionate about the things that I read and watch. And I look, like I always say, I don't want nothing to fail. Nothing, especially on comic books. But if you're going to fuck it up, guess what? I'm going to call you out on your bullshit. Okay, somebody has to. And I hate to burst your bubble. The people that you're trying to appeal to, why even change anything that's already on pen and paper? Why change anything just to fit a narrative that most people probably wouldn't even care about, especially if they're coming right into the damn series or coming into the story or anything like that? Why even bring up anything? So my whole thing is, don't don't reinvent the wheel because it's not necessary. So that's how I feel about it. And honestly, it should stay that way. So either way, I know I've been ranting about that for a good minute, but like I said, Captain America Brave New World, looking forward to seeing how that turns out. I'm excited. It's going to be coming out around February 14th of next year, which is almost around the corner if you think about it. So, either way, this is an In My Mind segment on Late for the Party on Spotify for podcasters. It's so weird saying that now, but either way, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and support to the podcast. The link will be in the description once I upload everything. Or if you want, you can look me up on Linktree/LateForTheParty. That is Linktree/LateForTheParty. Smash them bad boys together and you will see where I'm at. Also, you can check out the cool Late for the Party merch on spring.com when you're on the description, when you're on the link, where you can get all your cool Late for the Party merch, you guys. So either way, I am your host, Harry Labrea, aka Coverboy, the Modern Marvel, signing off. And as always, you're always on time when you're late for the party.